What are you doing, Jay?
Just thinking about my game. Oh, you can...
Yo, what up? I'm here again. Welcome back, everyone, to the Virtual Fortress. We are now on episode 6, and I am happy, more than happy, to invite one of my good friends who was on our last episode back to the Virtual Fortress, Paul Marlier.
Hey,
Welcome back. Welcome.
I'm back in the Virtual Fortress. Same as it always is. This is an awesome space to be in.
Right.
So many games. He just pulled out another game, set it right down in front of me. I was like, what? I didn't even know this game existed.
Really? No? Okay.
Actually, I think, of
course.
Well, if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. But
we'll talk about that. But what I'm going to ask you is, we talked about this last time, and you gave me a funny ass story, and I gave you a funny ass story. But I think I just need, what other funny stories do you have in your gaming memories? As anything? What memories do you have?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a funny story, or just anything that you remember about gaming back in the day.
Back in the day. I'm reminded, we were talking recently with a friend of ours, and they were talking about how they get mad and they throw down the controllers. And now, if you do that, it really means something, because when I started playing with the NES, the controller was it was literally 4 buttons and a D-pad. But really, essentially, all it was 2 buttons and a D-pad.
Right.
So and they were hefty and just square, and you could throw those down. You could throw them down.
Damn.
And
Jeez.
now, no, you ain't throwing. Could you imagine going over to your friend's house and throwing down their PS4 controller? What would they do to you? It would not be good.
It wouldn't be good. Those are very, very fragile.
You wouldn't even really think about it. I don't know. But I do see kids throwing down PS4 controllers. But they don't throw it down like we used to throw it down.
But we've seen it though.
We've seen it. I've seen it. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, we've seen it, and it's and it's not more okay, this might sound fucked up, but it's more when they do it, I'm not what are you doing? What's going on? I'm kind of what the don't do that. That's valuable. That's a good game controller.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll attend to the needs.
It's not just so much too of the value of the controller. It's the value of the time wasted that we have to wait around to get another controller to replace that controller.
It's so true, and it's
it's only. I would say it's only $45 or $50. I can't believe what a controller costs, but it's
only. My God.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah. Anyways, so the funny part of this is that after throwing down these controllers so often, I've never actually broke the NES controller. Of throwing them down.
Yeah,
I
neither.
never in my life broke one. I never went into the store to buy a controller to replace the NES controllers or SNES. Actually.
That's weird. I feel like the controllers.
You would think at some point after throwing them down as often as we did, you would have to replace them, but you didn't have to replace them.
The controllers back in the day were more sturdy than they are now. It's you can just there's so many times I spilled beer or water in my controller, and the joystick gets sticky, and I'm fucking me. I'm just kind of I don't want to say OCD, but I'm damn, this is bothering me. So I gotta get another controller. Fuck it. But then back in the day, you could just do whatever.
Yeah.
And your controllers will last you.
That's why you can actually still pick up controllers now. They still work. That's the difference between the cartridge generation, which we were members of, versus the CD is like, or DVD, whatever, I don't even know what you call them, the disc generation. They're like, you couldn't fuck up the cartridge and you couldn't fuck up the controller. Like, but there was one thing that I realized too, was that I actually got a little nuance to throwing the controller down as I got older.
You did it out of science?
Yeah,
so
yeah, exactly. So what people are not seeing, which is exactly what I'm talking about. So Jay Reed made this motion where he sort of stuck out his finger like he was throwing a frisbee.
It's kind of like Randy Johnson's sidearm.
Yeah, Randy Johnson's sidearm, which is exactly what I was alluding to. Is that's what I did. Like, I wouldn't just throw it straight down on the ground. I get a spin to it. If you get a spin to it,
and it was
like
kind of frisbee.
frisbee.
Hit the ground and
exactly.
go up.
Yes.
Yeah.
You didn't break the controller.
Hit the ground,
exactly.
come up. It might be damaged a little bit, but you hit the ground, come up.
Yeah.
But
I'm mad, but I'm not that mad.
Right.
I'm gonna put a spin on this.
But you gotta look tough.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, I'm fucking pissed.
Fuck that.
Let me throw this, hit the ground, come up, and then, it'll have some damage, but it's not fucked up. You're still good.
You probably could do it better now with a PS4 because you don't have a wire attached to it, so you probably could get a nice spin on it.
I don't know about that. I feel like the controls back in the 80s and 90s were way more sturdy. Like, I can fucking slam down a fucking Sega Genesis controller and just be fine. Like, slam down my hardest, but now, it's like this all these L2, R2, and all these things they're sticky and I know there was
that's what I was gonna complain about, is that you have this little piece of plastic that's sticking out that I hate using anyways. I hate on the PS4. I'm sorry, but
the analog, the plastic part.
The triggers on the bottom trigger, the top trigger, I'm fine with because that was the only Super Nintendo had the top triggers, and basically, I think I don't know. We can get into 360. I'm sorry, not 360, but we could at some point, but we can get into 64. But I think that basically, Super Nintendo controller is basically all you need for a controller. To be honest with you. You could put the joystick in for the that you find now on the PS4 and the 360 onto the SNES.
Yeah.
But I really think that you do not need that many buttons. I hate to tell everybody in the audience, but you don't need 16 buttons on your controller, which I'm not even sure. Maybe that might be. Is that as many as are on actually?
Maybe the GameCube controller, because that controller has a shitload of buttons.
It's way too many buttons.
What I think about that is it's usually just 2 or 3 buttons, but maybe in the gaming world, the companies try to elevate people's minds. And it's oh yeah, you gotta, how fast can you move with the controllers, like Resident Evil or whatever. It's it's just, but
good.
No, my bad. But it's you got 3 buttons: jump, punch or kick, and that's it, or whatever. But it's nowadays, it's you got to do all these things.
Well, and I think that there's another aspect too, is that we're not really thinking about is the people that play games on the computer. So if you have a keyboard and a mouse, you've got a ton of buttons that you can do. Okay, so if a game is designed actually to be played on a PC and you bring it over to a console, how do you compensate for all the button possibilities for a keyboard and mouse with the controller? And I've even seen even with the game Brawlhalla, which is very basic of games. It probably is the basic of basic games. I hate to say it for people out there. If you're a Brawlhalla fan, you're probably not listening to this pod. But
it's it's okay.
Do you want to explain it, or
bro? It's basically
imagine Smash Brothers, but it's like Button Mash Brothers. Is that too pinpoint?
No, you hit the nail right on the head. I couldn't even explain. It's Smash Brothers is just so nostalgic, and now I'm not saying it's better because it's nostalgic. I'm just saying you know, I just feel like Brawlhalla. It's a good game. I've played it, but when I play it, I'm like, think of Smash Brothers. It's a ripoff in my eyes. It's a ripoff.
Right.
Like, but the kids nowadays they didn't grow up with that, so it's like, you know, this is like the end all be all.
Yeah.
For them.
But
so
to finish the thought is that I seen that people like to play with the keyboard on the PS4 just because you can have more options on the buttons being pressed in playing that game. And actually, I just wanted to touch on that too a little bit about Smash Brothers.
Go right ahead, bro.
So a lot of the characters in Smash Brothers, kids growing up nowadays have no idea who those characters are. And I hate it, you know, because I don't.
That's so true.
I'm not a Pokemon person because there's Pokemon characters in Smash Brothers, but
yeah,
there's like yeah, I know. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
you're totally hypocrite.
For those who don't know, Paul is not the biggest Pokemon fan. He doesn't know shit about Pokemon, but like he knows about Pokemon, which doesn't make any fucking sense. But like,
yeah,
whatever.
I know about Pokemon, but I don't know about Pokemon.
Yeah,
but it's. I think that's one of the things I love. And we'll talk about this later, but that's I love nostalgic aspects to games, like bringing those back and changing it, but not changing it, keeping it, you know, making it new, but like definitely keeping it old school at the same time.
Right.
And I think that's like, it's actually every game. Well, we'll talk about this later, but I think like every game should try to achieve that in everything that they do. Every game you make, the game's probably already been made in some sort of way, whether it's the premise or the aesthetic, or you're a AAA manufacturer and you literally already made this game. You know, like. You know, make it nostalgic, put those things in, do it right. And again, I'll be touching on this later, I'm pretty sure. So,
man, you just full of knowledge.
Yeah, thanks.
But did we even get to your favorite, your memory, one of your crazy gaming memories, or did we just go deep for a little bit? Because if we did, then that's fine.
But the memory is just the memories of how you throw down those controllers. Basically, was my memory throwing down controllers. But I'll tell you that I have another memory.
Nah, shoot.
And this one probably will lead into something we never got around to talking about. We basically stayed back in the 80s in our last conversation, and so. I remember, I don't even know if this is the case anymore, but I remember going into Walmart, and at Walmart, could you, like, do they still do it that you can go into Walmart and play games there? Like, they have the controller, like, mounted to the thing, and you can play a game? Do they do that at all anymore? No.
Nope.
Okay.
No way.
So,
I think something tells me that I think I might know where you're going with this.
Yeah, I think I might have told you this story before. I'm not sure.
No, I could be wrong, but like I remember.
Maybe you had this experience.
I probably have, but
okay.
Carry on, and
yeah.
I'll
So I go into Walmart and there was Mario 64 on the thing, and I was like, and there was this controller that at that time, like, was crazy. It still is kind of crazy, like, to look at. The Trident is what I'm talking about here. And for those of you who've never, I don't know why you've been listening to this pod, never play a 64 controller, but it's essentially, it has three sort of like prongs to hold on to, and you have to decide which game you're playing on how to hold this thing. So there's a D-pad like on the left, which is actually really weird now. But the D-pad was on the left. Then there was a joystick in the middle. But that was like great because that was like holding on to a gun because there was a trigger at the bottom, which was like the best place to put a trigger. There's never been a trigger on any controller since then that actually made sense to me. That was the only trigger that ever made sense to me. And we can talk about GoldenEye later.
Oh my God, are you kidding me right now?
Right.
Let's go.
So So there was a trigger in the center prong, and then on the right it was the 4 buttons. They called them the C buttons, but it was 4 different direct. It was essentially
they were yellow and they were arrows, and it was up, down, left, right, northwest, or whatever.
Yeah, and then at the top you had 2 triggers on the top, like the SNES.
Yes, and then they had the trigger in the back, like you said.
Yeah, the trigger on the bottom. That was the Z trigger.
That was complicated for me.
It was.
As a kid.
It was crazy. It was like you came up to this thing, and I'm at Walmart, and I look at this thing, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what the fuck is going on? And then, like, I looked at... Now, like, I don't know how old I was, but I feel like I was in Walmart all alone. Like, I feel like there was nobody in the store at all. And I want to say, like, I was there at, like, 2 a.m. But there's no way. If you probably crunched the numbers, there's no way I was there at 2 a.m.
This must have been, like, maybe 95, 96?
Yeah, because it would have been 95. That's when 64 came out?
96?
Was that?
96.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so I would have been...
96.
I could have been 16 years old, driving up with my parents' car or whoever's car, and going up to Walmart at 2 a.m. That's probably not true at all. Let's just say that I was alone in a Walmart. And on the screen was Mario 64, which that's what it was called, right? Mario 64.
Yeah, Super Mario 64.
Super Mario 64. And I just was like, I looked at it and I was like, what? It was like literally like, what the fuck is this? And I was just like, like right then and there, I was like, video games will never be the same. I was just like, this is just it. This is just totally different.
So before that was what? Of Mario based. What?
At that point it was just Super Mario World. And I beat that. That was easy. I beat Super Mario World.
Before that was Super Mario World?
Yeah.
See? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They waited like, oh my god.
And that was 91.
91. And
I'm pretty certain because that's what came out with the Super Nintendo.
Right, and I had the sim.
They had Mario's Missing. That was bullshit.
Yeah, Mario Time Machine.
Yeah,
nah, I don't mean that.
But the real official Mario game coming out with that 64, and like literally it did change the game, because PlayStation had not come out at that point. PlayStation was like another 2 years, I'm pretty certain.
No, it did come out.
It did it?
PlayStation
was 97?
Was it 1 PlayStation year? Was 94.
No.
Yeah. December 94.
Well, the one thing about this is like pretty much my heyday. And I had a lot of traction already at this point too, because I've already been playing, like I said, like all the other stuff, Coleco, NES, and SNES. And actually, at one point, I traded. I'm not even sure if I was given the SNES as a present at one Christmas, or that I was given the Genesis and traded it with a friend. I like literally traded. I think I was given a Super Nintendo and gave it to a friend who gave me a Genesis. Like, we swapped consoles. Can you imagine?
So you gave your friend what?
I feel like I gave him the Super Nintendo and I got the Genesis from him. But it might have been vice versa. I can't remember at this point. But we switched consoles. That's crazy. I don't think anybody did you ever do that?
Can't. I definitely have, but I just can't. Because, like, for me, growing up, my brother and I were, like, obsessed with Genesis.
Genesis, yeah.
Just nothing but Genesis. Genesis.
Sega.
Yeah, Sega. We got it for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas morning in maybe 92 or whatever. But we were obsessed. Mm-hmm. Genesis. Mm-hmm. Super Nintendo was cool. Mm-hmm. We had it too. But we were like, brush that off. Mm-hmm. Genesis is like, yo, you
had them both at the same time.
Yeah, I would say that, yes.
Okay.
Definitely the same time. But we were like, yo, Genesis is like the fucking gritty games. Like, shit that people don't. Right.
Yeah.
Nintendo's everybody knows about, Super Mario World. They know about F-Zero. about all that stuff. Like, and we had all those, but it's
there were good games on it.
They were good games.
Yeah, but grittier. Yeah,
like Pilot Wings and all that stuff.
Exactly what PlayStation filled that gap. But and PlayStation had the same thing going on. That's right. Actually, PlayStation was before 64. But the reason, go ahead, finish your thought.
No, I didn't really have anything to say. But I was saying like PlayStation was, in '94.
In America.
In North America.
Okay.
Japan was probably like 85. I mean, I'm kidding because they get everything early. Yeah. But no, I remember. We got. Yeah, it was way earlier, but Nintendo 64 dropped in North America like in '96.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mentioned that in the last episode, like that I got it on actually my birthday in 1996.
Okay.
So
that it does fit because I was in '96.
Right, and I know it's hard to see that because like the graphics looks kind of similar. So
it was that they were similar in a sense that, and they were similar. They had the what we like the polygon world that we know of, and not all, but like basically all, at least the way PlayStation was known was that all of their games with the polygon was like looking to be realistic.
Right.
So they didn't have like all their aesthetic was trying to be realistic, which at that point with that technology, it's like really it looks really bad, because what you're trying to do with that technology didn't match up. Like now, when you play NBA 2K 2019, it looks exactly like, LeBron or Steph Curry. Like when they, it actually looks like them. And you think that you're watching a real basketball game when you watch somebody playing those games. But when the original PlayStation came out and they're trying to do this realistic look, it looks pretty fucked up, because they're not really real. They don't look real, but so like Mario 64, when it came out, it had an aesthetic to it that fit the design and the capabilities of the technology.
First, it was a 3D game.
It was 3D. Which other ones there were 3Ds? Like Tomb Raider was 3D, and I'm not sure if Tomb Raider came out in 64, but Tomb Raider was
came out for PlayStation. But it's like there was no Mario.
Yeah, Mario didn't just go side scroll. Mario could run anywhere.
Side scroll was everything until like Mario 64.
Yeah.
That's when I remember being obsessed with that game too. I don't remember where I got it or when I got it, but like I remember playing that and just like, nah, you good, and like just, grabbing Koopa's tail and you have to swing. Swing him around.
Yeah.
So you just and you have to get like a certain amount of stars or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that was
you had to get 120 actually.
Right.
I know this because
I got
the.
See.
The other thing is keep going.
I just remember like, trust me, I have vivid imagery, but it's like I remember like spinning Koopa around and like I remember doing that. Yeah. And then remember you had to get like 120 something stars.
Yeah, you had to get 120.
That was highly doubt that I got it.
I think actually you had to get like 36 or something to play Bowser to win the game. But there was like a possibility of getting 120 stars, which I did. And you
got them all?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Because
man, I didn't. I didn't get them all.
Well, back then there was no internet. I mean, there was internet.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. For all you listeners out there was a time and a place where there was no internet. Well, there was an internet, but
net zero.
It wasn't. Yeah, right. Like, have you seen the net? So like, there was like an internet, but it wasn't an internet. Like everything you know of the internet now, that did not happen until much later. So I got the books. You remember like the user? I don't even remember what they were called. You probably have one here of user guides for like beating games.
For
you had to get not
Nintendo 64.
Just any general, but like not Nintendo Power, which is like a broad. It did help you with beating games, but they would.
Did they come with the game or
no? Like you had to purchase. I think it was before it was called Sam Goody.
Sam Goody, holy fuck,
Goody?
yo!
No one knows about Sam
I know about Sam
well,
Goody.
You know about Sam
I know
Goody,
about Sam Goody, yo. Sam Goody.
There was something I can't remember what it turned into Sam Goody, but it was called something else.
It was
which way, but you had to
Tower Records. No, not Tower Records.
I
remember
it was and
it was damn. I remember it was in Meadow Glen Mall. Where Wegmans is now, and it was, and there was a game, not GameStop. There was a Sam Goody. There was a Funko Land. Remember that?
No.
Oh, what am I saying?
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
I talked about this last time, but there was a Funko Land, and damn, I feel like I have to enlighten you right now.
Yeah,
because you're here. Because you're here, I'll do it.
I
talked about this last time, but my brother and I talked about that. But Funko Land was basically, it was in the 90s, and it was basically your GameStop. There was no such thing as GameStop. It was called Funko Land. Funko Land. I don't even know where that came from.
So yeah, I was gonna say it's nothing to do with funk music.
I have no idea what the name is. It's called Funko Land. FUNCO Land.
So like Fun Company Land.
Shit, you cracked the code. Shit. Yeah, but it was that.
But why the land? Why couldn't it just be Fun
I don't know. And it was all in like rainbow letters. Mm-hmm. So like and it was a store where you can, you know, it wasn't just like the new urban shit. It was just urban shit at the time and like old shit. Mm. So you can get old games and like it was basically like you know, the store we went to in Austin. Same shit. But I don't know where I was going with this. That's basically the store. But
So I had to get the guides to beat the games.
Oh right. The guides.
Which I guess you didn't really have to do, but I actually, to just go back another. This will go. I'm gonna go back to lead forward, but well, I should say before I go back, this Mario 64 is an awesome game. It still holds up. All the levels are awesome. All the ways that you can get stars are awesome. Go out and play it if you haven't. Yeah, in every single theme of every single world, is awesome. The music still like is played. I listen to the music still this day. It's just an awesome game. Yeah. So to go back, when I beat Legend of Zelda for the NES by the help of a classmate who literally drew out the final level on a grid paper with the help of his dad so that he could give it to me.
Is that an architect or?
I don't know. My dad was, but but he drew it out on grid paper to give it to me to show me how to go around. Because when you play NES Legend of Zelda, I'm pretty damn certain like it's really hard to get the. You have to know what you're doing to even find the final level. Then once you get into it, you have to know what you're doing to navigate around in it, because there's like secret passages and shit. And then it's really hard to get the compass, or they're not the compass, but the map in there. So once you get the map, then it shows you the place, and maybe there might even not be a map for that level 9. But anyways, he drew that out for me. I mean, think about that now. Like, could you, like, you'd have to, like, have a friend that you went to school with who had already beaten the game that would draw you out a map to beat the game yourself. Like
you got some good friends.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because none of my friends were never done.
Yeah, right.
Well,
No
maybe.
one would ever do. I'm like, now that I think of it, I should like send him something. Some care package or something.
Should,
be like,
should.
thank you so much for that, because you actually changed my childhood.
But it's like, why now? It's like you get a new Grand Theft Auto game or Red Dead Redemption game. It's like you got the map. You're not gonna use it, right? What's the point?
I mean,
you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, but
I get the new Red Dead Redemption.
You have the overworld map in Legend of Zelda. Actually, yeah, you get in Legend of Zelda for NES. You get the overworld map in the booklet. Which you don't.
I could understand that in the 80s, but now you get like GTA 5.
Yeah.
And it comes to the map, whole map, or like Red Dead Redemption 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
It comes to the whole map, and it's like, you just fucking go on YouTube. What's the point of having a fucking map? Maybe some people.
But you collect you have all this stuff. That's like a collector's item. You know, you put it up in a poster, and it's cool, right?
Well,
I don't think they're using it to get around in the game. I think it's more of like
true
something.
That's true, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like some people use it.
Would you ever pay to download a game? Just on curiosity. This is
would I ever pay to download a game?
Have you ever paid to download a game?
Sure.
You would, and you have?
I would.
You've always bought a physical copy of a game, right?
I've done both, but
Okay.
what I am more intrigued with is the physical copy.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Just deleting that quite go back to that statement. It's like they want that physical. Like you can have a digital version of this map, but I could also have a physical copy of the map, and I want to have that. You know, like it's a built-in nostalgic thing that's only going to pay off 10 years when you mount it on your wall, and like, you know what I mean?
That makes
something lost because like soon. So even we'll probably talk about this later. We'll talk about it later. I don't want to get into that. Let me finish my thought. So I had a friend who gave me that thing, but with 64 Ocarina of Time, which if you've not played Ocarina of Time at this point in your life, I don't know what's wrong with you. Go out, get a 64, play Ocarina of Time.
Wow.
So with Ocarina of Time, there's, instead of it being stars, there's these golden beetles.
Yep.
And I've collected all the golden beetles in Ocarina of Time. I love that game. That game was awesome.
Did you like Majora's Mask?
I never played it.
No?
No, because that was basically... no, I did not play Majora's Mask.
For some reason, I don't know why, like... I played Ocarina of Time, but like, I kind of like just, I brushed it aside. Mm-hmm. It's weird. I brushed it aside, but like, Majora's Mask, I was like... Yeah. Like, I was like, okay, because I remember the cartridge had like a holographic...
Yeah. It
had a holographic, whatever you want to call it, and like I remember sweating that game, and like you play the flute, and you just go to another dimension or whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember being obsessed with that game. But everybody's saying like, "Oh, Ocarina of Time's way better," but I'm like, at the time, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Majora's Mask is my shit. Yeah. Like you can put on, you be different people, but now I'm like, okay, Ocarina of Time is so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. And I was wrong. So.
Yeah.
I mean.
And for that, I had to buy the booklet for that, too. And I'm trying to wonder how much that, probably back then, even it was probably $20. I'm going to guess. And, actually, it's so funny, is I was going to lead into this, and what you're not seeing, because you're listening to this, is on the screen over here is actually GoldenEye being played on the big screen, and it leads me right into talking about GoldenEye. So, my favorite game of all time is hard to say, but certainly in talking about it, it has to be GoldenEye. Has to be like number 1, 2, or 1, 3, 2, or 1, somewhere around there.
You know what? GoldenEye, because of GoldenEye, is who I am today in Call of Duty.
Really? What's
Kinda.
your name? And do you have a name? Is that how you do? I don't know. What do you mean by that? I don't know what that means because I never got into Call of Duty.
No, not that I didn't have a special name or anything. I just just the the competition and stuff like that. Just I just I guess that's really started. Paul's drinking actually not a gasket, by the way. So yes, another one. This is 18th. I'm kidding, but GoldenEye was actually kind of where I started with multiplayer gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't know anything about. I know multiplayer. I used to know multiplayer playing with somebody, beating up people, helping me. But I'm like, oh shit, we actually hurt each other. Yeah. And
actually, I think that is the first game that you could really do that, right?
I mean,
could you in other games?
I mean,
other than fighting.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay, what I mean is back in like Double Dragon, you can be point. You can be A or B, and A you can't hurt each other. B you can hit each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had that in games
but that's not what we're talking about.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Some people might get But what I mean actually competitiveness, versing each other.
Yeah.
Yo, that was the first game.
Yes.
That you can verse each other.
Yeah.
Split screen. We would do. My brother, my friends, and I. We would literally tape the screens.
Yeah.
Put blankets.
Yeah.
Because multiplayer existed, but it didn't exist. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Right.
So it's we would tape the screens. We have one screen, and it was split screen four split screen, and we would tape it so nobody can see the next person's move.
Yeah.
So, and I never forget, I was obsessed with the golden gun, which killed in one shot.
Yep.
And I remember that round, and I remember being obsessed with going to the facility in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. You just hide in the stalls, and I just remember that. That was my shit. I used to sweat that GoldenEye. That was my first memory of multiplayer gaming in general.
See, that must have been the introduction of screen watching.
Right.
So so people don't know, now everybody says screen watching, but that back then you didn't know what that didn't mean anything to us because you didn't even understand that concept, even though that was what was going on. If
you had cool friends, they would be like, "Oh yeah, look at my screen, come get me."
Nice.
I'm here, come get me. If you're good enough, you can kill me. If you can't, you suck.
Yeah.
But some people just would get upset.
Yeah. And, well, that's what so the other aspect too, because of the 64s, you could actually plug in 4 controllers. Right. Yeah. Which was not the setup for even PS ever for PS. That's until PlayStation went. What would that be?
Well, no.
Bluetooth controllers. When did that happen with
PlayStation? No. Dreamcast was 4.
Dreamcast. Okay,
Dreamcast was 4 ports.
Okay.
Well, that was
nobody I knew.
That was 99.
Okay.
So 99, 2000. So
Nintendo was 3 years ahead of the game in that. But you still had to pay. They were pretty expensive controllers. But I did it. I bought all 4 controllers so that I could bring them to 64 to play people at GoldenEye, and everybody loved it. That's you want to get a party going with 35-year-old to 45-year-old people. Bring up 64 and GoldenEye, and I swear to God, they'll all just sit down and drink beer until 2 a.m.
That's the best game. But, my friends, we just all fuck with each other and just we kill that game so much that we will fuck with each other and just have stupid stipulations okay, we can only chop.
Yeah.
We can only chop.
Yeah, you only chop.
We can do whatever, be whatever. We can only chop each other. And we were well, that's whack. But then it would be fun. We just chasing each other, chopping each other. You can only use golden gun, which is golden gun is one shot kill.
Boom.
Yeah.
You could actually do a setting. You could do that with any gun, but there was a setting, I think, that you could do that in multiplayer.
I didn't even know that. See, it was just golden gun, one shot.
Yeah,
and
one shot. Actually, no. That was right. That was the setting. Was that everybody got a golden gun?
Right, everybody got a golden gun. Like
that's
you see them shooting, and the screen go bloody.
Yeah.
And that hurt my soul.
Yeah,
that hurt my soul when it was me.
Yeah,
that hurt me.
So I would play with people, I would play with people, and that's when they would be like, like it just was so easy. I had to not scream. I actually policed myself because I played the game enough that I could just look at your screen. I know exactly where you are, and I know how to get there.
Bathroom? Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're in the bathroom. I just go here and I go here, and I know exactly where I can watch your screen. I know where you are. And
that was like the only place that I knew where people was. A facility, I'm like, okay, he's in a stall.
But if you played the first person player game enough, anyways, it's just such a good game, and it's interesting. So that was Unreal. Was it Unreal? Not Unreal. Rare was the company that made that.
I was gonna say that was Rare.
And they ended up their engine was the same engine that made South Park's game, which is also a good game. I don't know necessarily if you have to go back and play it, but one interesting thing of it is that the game is that you throw snowballs, and it's the exact same controls as GoldenEye, but there's this one snowball that you can throw that you actually takes time to throw it. You actually have to. You just hear the sound of a zipper, and then pee, and you're peeing on the snowball. And it makes it heavier, so whenever you throw it, it's like more powerful, which is funny. It's absolutely hilarious.
So the pee makes the snowball heavier.
Yeah.
To gain more power to throw.
Yeah. It's so South Park. Perfect.
I've seen the cover of that game millions of times, but I've never played it for N64. N64, right? Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So there's so many, and then the GoldenEye came out. They did a GoldenEye. It was so weird. They did a GoldenEye Angel Fire. Do you remember that? I don't know. That came out. Yeah, I think it was like for PS2. It might have been
Nightfire.
Nightfire. Was it Nightfire?
Nightfire. Okay, that's what it was. Yep. Definitely. Yep.
They released a James Bond game, but they called it GoldenEye because GoldenEye was so successful that they were like, let's call the sequel GoldenEye, or like GoldenEye something. You know what I mean? It wasn't like James Bond or 007. It was like GoldenEye. Right. So, I'm not going to talk about the films, James Bond films right now, but I'll just say that was an awesome game. And so long story short, definitely 64 is my favorite console.
Oh.
And I have not. I actually right now in my collection I only have original Nintendo and Super Nintendo. I don't have a 64 because I've been like building my way towards it in a sense.
Wow. I mean, why? What's holding you back?
I think it was more. It's when we think of like nostalgic.
Because I didn't even know that. I had no idea.
Probably because I don't have. Yeah, because I don't have. But because when you're thinking of like nostalgic, you go back further. And obviously, I didn't go back to the Coleco. I almost bought a Coleco. So we go. Jordan and I, independent of each other talking, we've gone to a guy named Wiley, and I'm not even sure what Wiley. It's what's Wiley's store?
High Energy Vintage.
High Energy Vintage.
Yep.
And I walked into High Energy Vintage about at this point 6 years ago, I'm assume.
Oh wow!
And that was back when he was on Highland Ave in Somerville.
He was somewhere else.
Since
right, so right across from Market.
Not from Union Square when he was like
Market Basket. He wasn't there.
No, he.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
So I was going to there before you were. So there you go. I started going there just to like get games for the kids, and like I said, at the NES emulator, my notion was that I would show kids like really bad games, because NES has some really bad games. They're basically unplayable, or just so crude in what they are compared to what the current games are like.
I mean, could you, if you don't mind, could you give me like a couple titles
of like really bad NES games?
Yeah, man, really quick.
Well, like one that's really easy is Jordan versus Bird. For kids, they love playing NBA 2K, which is a good game. NBA 2K is a really good game. Try playing Jordan versus Bird
for NES.
Yeah,
NES, okay.
And there's also a Virgin Magic. I'm pretty certain there's a Magic versus Bird.
I didn't play any of that for the NES, but I played those games for the SNES, and they were pretty good.
Jordan versus Bird on the SNES. Are you sure?
It was
crude.
It was
so crude.
My God.
It's like they can face forward and
it's like
backwards.
1-on-1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember.
You can only, you're always, I mean, I wish I could show you the audience, but like you can only face forward and backwards. You hop around. Your body's
But
don't
here's
move.
an example of what entertained me when I was a kid. Yeah, that might have been bad for you now, but like as a kid, like, yo, I'm basketball, yeah. But for the NES, I didn't really play any basketball games. But I did play Jordan vs. Bird. I played Blazers vs. Bulls.
Okay.
There was that one.
Yeah.
It's just generic games like that, but like I found them okay.
For your listening audience, since you're not seemingly aware, the best NES game for basketball is Double Dribble. And if
shit!
Double Dribble
For NES, Double Dribble. So,
everything else is crap.
Right.
And they made tons of crappy NES games.
Yes, and they do like, and I saw, not even recently. I saw this a long time ago. Like they did a reference of Double Dribble on Family Guy.
Oh really?
Yeah, and it was just like, and Peter Griffin was doing what I did, and he was like, "Oh, corner three, just corner three."
Yeah,
and meaning if you get to the corner, you hit if you go to the bottom left corner and shoot a three, it always goes in. Mm-hmm. And that was always like a
it's a
glitch, right? A glitch, but I'm like, I've done it before, but I'm like, I seen Peter Griffin do it, and I was like, yo, he figured me out. He figured me out, and I was like, that's so funny. Like, I have to show you it. It's so fucking funny. Like, he's just doing it, and like, Cleveland's like getting upset, like, come on, that's all you can do. Yeah. And Peter's like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, corner three, yeah. He just keeps doing it over and over. I'm like, yo, I thought I was the only one that knew that. Yeah. But no, that's funny.
Everyone else does.
Yeah, fucking Seth. Jeez, what the hell's his name?
MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane.
There's I just don't know because we're not on a similar sort of taste sort of thing, but that's in some ways we are. But just as off in another tangent, the sports games. So one of the things that I grew up playing was the sports games. Mm-hmm. So I also, as much as I love Ocarina of Time, and I love storytelling games, but I also played the majority of my playing in my youth was playing the sports games. So Madden football was huge. NHL hockey was huge. One of my favorite games of all time is RBI baseball for the NES.
Tengen?
Yeah.
Tengen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which Tengen, for your audience out there too, it's an interesting story on them. They were actually like making bootleg NES games, and then they got sued and everything. But
I remember
they always had these weird ass cartridges.
I was gonna say that the cartridge was just like just like they look so cool. Like they look like they were worth something.
They looked awesome.
I was like,
is
this worth
weird?
Yeah,
the other ones, yeah,
like all
they were cool but weird.
The Nintendo one was like just like square gray, and I was like, I seen the 10 game RBI baseball, and I'm like, is this worth something? Is this worth money or something?
Yeah,
like,
right. Like you have to know somebody to get that cartridge.
Yeah, but I've seen it at Wiley's store.
Yeah,
I didn't pick it up, but I do remember that. I do have Bases Loaded though.
Bases Loaded was alright. It was okay. There was one game. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. Of the games for the NES. I don't know, do you think your audience would like that? Probably not. Anyway, so, but in collecting now, one of the fun things though is that all those sports games in the cartridge based are like they're going for $1, $2. I'm like building up. I got like every Madden from like the original Madden up to like 98 or 99 right now, and it cost me like $5. And I'm getting all the NHLs, and it's like $5. I've got like 6 or 8 of those. And to be honest with you, into your audience.
But why?
So I can go.
No, I don't mean to cut you off. But it's like what I noticed like over the years is like why are sports games like so low in value?
Because it's all matters like the nostalgia of wanting to play as the Steelers in '97 just doesn't hold up. Because the '97 the Steelers weren't. The audience, the Pittsburgh people right now are like probably freaking out right now. They're like, no.
But
Cordell Stewart.
I just see that it's like it's always like someone. I go on eBay and like I see someone selling. I'm looking for a game lot or whatever. Yeah. It's like, oh, $10 for 20 games. I'm like, oh shit, and then it's always like just all sports games.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait. Why are these games so? I don't understand. Like, people just don't. I don't know. I don't know why the value of sports games just don't matter. Because
it doesn't. Well, first off, that like I was just gonna finish my thought was like that. To be honest with you, the Maddens don't hold up. At the time, they were like awesome. They were like the best game, like the best football games you can have.
Right.
But now they just are. They suck. As a game, they just suck. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. But they do. And it's actually interesting. I watched a video. I wish I could remember the person who posted the video. And I'm sorry for the person that I don't remember your name off the top of my head. But they were talking about how Madden fucking sucks. The newest Madden sucks. And they're like, this Madden sucks so bad. It's not even as good as the Madden that came out 5 years ago. And they were like, and then they were explaining how like NBA 2K is just so much better. Here's all the options you have in NBA 2K, and here's all the options you have in Madden. I don't want to retell his video, but essentially, Madden sucks. Football basically sucks on consoles, or it just basically sucks as a video game. If somebody, if you're out there and you like want to comment on this, I don't know how you comment on a podcast, but like. Tweet at me of why a good football game there is, or why it's a good football game. I'd love to hear it, but they just don't hold up. But hockey, actually, NHL hockey holds up. Like I play all the NHLs, like NHL 94, 90, and I'm just like recently got 98, and I'm like, this still fucking holds up. It's still a good game.
So you did get 98?
Yeah, I did get 98. Yeah.
With the
goalie on the thing. Yeah, it's great.
And
it holds up. It's still a good game. Like, cause it flows. The characters are distinctive. Like
I think I got that. I got that from BJ's. BJ's Wholesale.
Yeah,
I got that.
That's more of an up here thing.
Yeah, you've probably heard of it, but like, I got that from BJ's from my grandmother, like fucking 20 years ago.
Okay.
And like I'm not even fucking into hockey like that. I love hockey. Don't get me wrong. I used to play floor hockey when I was a kid, but I remember getting that with my brother, and I was just like, yo. And I remember like scoring 34 goals with the fucking. This is gonna make you fucking upset. The fucking Penguins. Nice. Right? I'm no joke. I'm not trying to make you happy or anything. I remember scoring like a shitload of goals, like 30 something goals with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Yeah. And I'm like, why is this team so good? Like, and I was just scoring goal after goal, and I did the same move over and over. I just like went to the left, scored to the right, the goalie went to the left, and then I scored, and I did the same thing. And I remember doing that with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, this game is. I never did that again, but.
There was, and the reason why I bring this up too, in some sense, is because there was what we called cheapies, which was. It was a similar sort of notion of what shooting a 3 in double dribble. You could skate to one side, and then you could skate to the boards,
and then the goalie would go that side.
The goalie would go to that side, and your player could skate faster than the goalie, and then you could just reach around the goalie and score.
I did that
every time.
Never forget doing that over and over for NHL '98.
Yeah. I don't think it was 98 though. I think they fixed it by 98. Maybe they did still have it in 98.
Because we went to.
You could still do it, but I think you probably had to have a skater that was really fast. I don't know.
I don't know. I remember doing that. But
there was there was what we called cheapies. I don't know what the official whatever.
It worked every time.
Because again, this was pre-internet. Like there wasn't a common language at that point, but that was a way to easily score goals. And me and my brother, here's a funny story. It's not really a funny story, but so I had a 13-inch TV and I had the console in my room. And at that point, my brother was like a senior in high school or whatever, and he would just come into my room and play video games, and there was nothing I could do, you know. And he was like, one night he was just like, come on, play video games. I'm like, I don't want to play. And he's like, come on, just play video games. I'm like, I don't want to play. And I was like, I could tell he was getting aggravated, so I grabbed a steak knife. And for some odd reason, I had a steak knife in my room. And he came at me. For some odd reason, he wanted to beat me up because I wouldn't play video games with him. And I had the knife. So he came at me and I cut him with the knife.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old were you?
Well, I was probably like 14 or something. Maybe 13 or 14. He was probably 18.
Gee, what game was it?
NHL.
Oh, fuck. 94?
Probably 94. I don't know. Maybe.
Jesus Christ, Paul. My God, you're a murderer.
I cut my brother because of video games. I swear to God. Jeez. You can call him.
I won't do that.
You won't call him. But anyways, that's how much he loved hockey games.
Yes, that's funny.
That's a true story, actually, too.
I never knew that.
He was like, he went down to my mom. He was like, Mom, Paul cut me.
She's like, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, why are you waking me up?
Why are you waking me? I got a funny story for you, and then for the audience, and then we'll get into what I've been actually waiting for, which is another top 5 of Paul's games that he would like to be made.
Awesome.
So damn, what do I start with this? Okay, so it's probably 1992 or maybe 93, and I go into KB Toys with my grandmother. Do you know what KB Toys is?
Yeah, but we didn't have any by us.
Okay, yeah. So KB Toys in Galleria Mall, and we go to the store, and then I don't remember. I just remember going to the counter, and we're paying for something. I don't even remember what it was, but I remember seeing Street Fighter, which is a game right here.
Okay.
Yep, that's why it's here.
Now I get it.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I have this game right in front of me. This game is Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition for the Sega Genesis. I remember seeing this game, and if you don't know the cover, it's a picture of fucking M. Bison kicking the shit out of Gal right in the face.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing this game, and I was like, Grandma, I have to have this. And she was like, no way. So back then I didn't really understand how checkbooks and checks and all that shit. Yeah, right. Checkbooks and all that shit, worked. So I said, I remember we went home, and I said, Grandma, please, I need that game. For real, like that. Cause I used to regular Street Fighter, but I was like, yo, this is Champion Edition. I don't even know what the fuck this meant, but like, and she was just like, no. And I was like, Grandma, please, I need this game. And it was probably like $40, KB Toys, like, and I'm like, okay. So I said, hey, why don't you write a check? And she said, no, I can't. I don't have any money. And I'm like, yeah, I understand that, but write the check. Because I didn't know what like a check meant. Like I'm like I thought like a check. I honestly back in the days I thought a check was like, oh, you could just write a check and that's free money. Yeah. Like I didn't know a check meant like, oh, you have to have that in your account or whatever. So I'm like, Grandma, write the fucking check for Street Fighter now. I need this game. She's like, no. And she's just like, yo, Jordan, you don't understand. Like, I don't have money. I'm like, you're a liar. You have money. You just don't want to write the check. Like, I don't understand what you're talking about. Just like, and I'm like 7. Yeah. I'm like, yo,
totally clueless.
I don't understand what the hell you're talking about. Like, what is this check thing? Like, do you have the money or not? Like, can you give me this game, please? I'm like, do you have the money? Like, I don't understand. She's just like,
finances to a 7.
Right, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm just like, yo, you're lying. You're just being cheap. You're just being cheap. You just being cheap. You don't want to make your grandson happy.
Yeah.
And I don't understand what I did to you, but whatever.
All of our stories have turned tragic for some reason.
Yeah, all my stories, most of them are tragic. Yeah. But I'm like, Grandma, can you please get the? I just remember like. Yeah. Her saying, oh, me finding something out about checks. And I'm like, can you, oh yeah. So like if you just write like $39.99 on the check and like just give it to the person at KB Toys, they can take that and you can go free. And then like, oh yeah, and then they'll, I don't know how I didn't know.
Yeah, right.
And she was like, no. But honestly, that's just a funny story. There's no happy end.
So like when you got this game now, did you go to your grandma and be like, "Hey, grandma, I got the game"?
No, because I actually like I forgot about that over the years. Like, okay. I just remember doing that. Like I honestly,
you should go and tell her that. Be like,
hey. She won't even remember.
Yeah, I know.
But it's like I remember just in that moment, like, hey, just arguing with her like how checks works and like. She's like, oh, it's my checkbook. You don't understand. I'm like, I do understand. Write the check and give me the game. And she's like, no, that's not how it works, Jordan. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I know exactly how it works. You write the check, you get free money, and you don't have to pay. You know what I'm saying? But long story short, I never got the game.
Yeah,
never got the.
Now you do. Yeah.
No, I have it now. Yeah, but I never got the game. I think my cousin might have had it or something like that, but I just remember that
Is it any different though than Street Fighter 2?
It is.
Two more playable characters.
You get to be like M. Bison, Balrog, just all the villains basically. Okay. It's what this is. Yeah, this cabinet is.
In retrospect, then.
Right. So we did.
Yeah.
But
$40 more to play those 4 characters.
Yeah, but I just remember doing that. That was a funny story. But so right now we are nearing down. It's nearing. I don't even know that's where, but like whatever. I'm gonna make it up. Mm-hmm. So we are nearing down to the next top 5 video games that Paul would like to be made. And Paul, whenever you're ready, go right ahead, bro.
Awesome. So, again, this is a list of games that, to the best of my knowledge, have not been made. Okay? So, they might have been made, but the best of my knowledge, they haven't. But I want them to be made someday by someone.
They will.
And I want you out there, everybody listen to the pod, go out and make these games. You can make them. You don't have to pay me any royalties. Go out and make this a reality. That's all I'd like to see. It's all for the kids.
What a good guy.
Yeah. And, I mean, I would do it, but I don't have the knowledge, the time, and most importantly, the money. It's basically, again, I'm skillless, highly distracted.
We'll make it someday.
Because of this, I'm poor. So, here's my list. Okay. Number 5. A few weeks back, or actually, I think it was actually for April Fool's, maybe it was even last year, Google did a thing where they brought back Where's Waldo? And on the phone. Do you remember that? I don't know if you remember that, but they brought back Where's Waldo on the phone. And I was like, fuck, this is a great use of the phone.
Was it an app? Was it an app?
It was it was like on Google Maps. It was so bizarre.
Holy
shit. It was
shit.
like you had to use Google Maps and click on it, and then you could play a level of Where's Waldo on your phone. And you could like scroll up and down. Because with Where's Waldo, if somebody out there in podcast land has never heard of Where's Waldo, Waldo's this character who wears red and white striped shirts, and he's got a tassel cap, which we call tassel caps. What do you call beanies, right? Some people call them toboggans.
Beanies, and you would.
Yeah.
There was a book.
There
was many books that he had. But there was like maybe 4 or 5 books or something.
Yeah,
maybe
something like that. I had like 3.
And yeah, I had a lot of them too. And you would open the book and you would like find Waldo. He was just
wear jeans and had a cane.
Right, yeah. It's
like he's walking, like he's a hiker.
He was exactly. He was a hiker and like
hikes throughout time, and he blends in with all of his surroundings.
Right, they would be like in Rome, Italy, or whatever, or whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing was, there was this one book that had like remember all of them were Waldos. Yeah. Waldo replicas.
Yes. And there was something unique about him, though. They were all him, but they were always something. Right. Slightly
they were
different.
all like family members or whatever the fuck they were.
Yeah, they were family members. Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck do I do now? Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck do I do now? I believe I found him, but like, damn, I didn't mean to pause for so much, but like thinking about it, like that was a good book.
Yeah,
that was good.
I've seen kids still go for Where's Waldo, and I was actually, and I'm like, this is a perfect app for the phone. I would love it because like it's so mindless. And I was actually on a flight. Recently, I went to Australia and I went on a flight from Melbourne to Tasmania, which is like a 45-minute flight, which was great. It's a 45-minute flight, can't beat that. And so. In the back of the flight, they have every airline. They have the catalogs that will sell you, or whatever it is. It has articles on whatever the fuck, And in the back they had a Where's Waldo, but in Australia it's not Where's Waldo, it's Where's Wally.
Oh no!
Isn't that weird? They call it Where's Wally.
Does it look the same?
It's the exact same. It's the exact same. They just didn't call it Waldo, which is weird. Because it's like, just call it Waldo. Why does it have to be Wally? So I guess they're wallabies there, and they call it Wally. I don't know. I'm assuming that's the case. But anyways, I was just like, why are they calling it Where's Wally? It's Where's Waldo, whatever. But so on the flight there, I tried to find, and it took me a while to find Waldo. But he also has there's his wizard friend, his girlfriend, and then the villain. You also have to find him, and he also has his dog. You also have to find those.
No, so just like him, right?
What?
They're all dressed like him, right?
Yeah, the wizard's dressed like him in a sense. The dog is dressed like him. The wizard just blue hat and red cape.
I actually remember that. You have to find like
she's dressed like him, but she has a skirt instead of jeans. And then the villain is yellow and black. Okay, so he's a Steelers fan or a Penguins fan. So I fly there. Anyways, on my flight back, I didn't get finished finding everybody on my flight back. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna find everybody. And so I spent like basically I had an hour and a half of flight, and I spent at least an hour trying to find Waldo. So I think that game should be made. I think it should be made now.
I feel like that game should be. I think that game would be like more popular now than it was back then.
I think you could if you had it as an app.
Right, exactly, right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
so you mindlessly waste time. You could look for
I can just envision like people being obsessed finding the
you release a new page every so and so.
Right, but back in the day, it's like you gotta get the book.
You gotta buy the book. And once you finish the book, then that's fucking useless. Anyways, yeah. So,
jeez.
Should I go on to my next one?
What was your 5-1? Was that?
That was just a Where's Waldo game.
Where's Waldo app? Is that what you were saying?
Well, essentially, yeah. I was saying it.
A new Where's Waldo. Okay.
Yeah. Where's Waldo? Right, cool. I mean, I guess you could make up a new character if you want or whatever. But it's just, yeah. It's Where's Waldo?
Where's Lil Uzi Vert?
Who's that?
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
You're just making up a new name. Okay.
He's a real.
So number 4. Okay. This one, I'm not exactly sure what the fuck the title is, but do you remember like before I get into it, just wanted to refresh your memory. Remember like Rock Band? Mm-hmm. We don't really have it too much anymore, but there was like Rock Band. You play the instruments and everything. You could sing into the mic,
right? And
it would grade you basically. Yeah. There was Guitar Hero, right?
Yes, yeah.
This one would be called like something like Act It Out. And like all the famous scenes from the famous films that you love, you have to like get up and like act those out. And then you get graded based on like how well you're doing. So like if you fuck up the line,
holy shit.
Say hello to my big friends, big you fuck that up.
Damn. Sorry for whoever gets Denzel Washington.
Yeah, right.
But how would they, how would you know who's who? You know what I mean? It's just one person.
Exactly. I don't know. I know that's why I can't make this game. But
sorry.
I think wouldn't it be fun though? Like you could act out.
Try to be that person.
Yeah,
like
see if
everybody
could I don't even know if it's like good enough or what. I don't even know how the fuck you'd rate this. But just like you and your bunch of friends, maybe you get like just you do random. So all of a sudden it's like a scene you've never seen before.
But what would be cool is like the main character, like let's say say hello to my little friend or whatever.
Yeah.
Like a famous scene from a famous actor.
Yeah.
The main role. But it's like, can the side roles outact you?
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
So like
if
friends.
If you're the main person, like Tony Montana or whatever, or Denzel Washington, and you do the role and then you're trash, you suck.
Yeah.
But then like whoever's Bonolo or whatever does a fucking amazing job.
Yeah.
And like
they steal the scene.
They steal the scene.
What do we call it? Steal the scene.
Steal the scene.
Nice.
See, we're learning, man. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, yo. So it's like it's not just the main star.
Yeah.
It could be the side roles or whatever, that can outact you.
Outact you.
But it's clear. It's only should be, roles that obviously like people that have talking. They can talk or whatever.
Yeah, but I don't know how the game works. But maybe you don't have to talk. I have no idea. I don't know. No, it should be like the T-Rex and Jurassic Park.
No. I don't know about that, but like I think it should just be like just certain roles that the big famous roles in Hollywood. And, I think it'll bring a lot of competition out of people because like, I want to be this, I want to be the main role, but that's like you can't execute that main role. But like the fucking person that was like, oh, this, just like your friend or whatever, they did that scene way better than you actually did the main role.
Yeah.
Might cause friendship problems, but that's a dope.
Yeah, I think so what do they call it? Steal the scene.
Steal the scene. All right.
So
get to the next one.
Next one. So this one I really it's just a really broad concept, but basically a cross-platform game that the game is kind of different on each platform, but you're still trying to like beat the main game. Okay, so like you just take on different aspects of the game. All right, so like I can't think of like what how it might actually work, but it's essentially like, okay,
it sounds like side missions.
It's kind of like side missions. So when I'm on my phone, I'm gonna interact with the game differently than I do. So here's one thing. It's like kind of thinking of the Switch right now. You can turn it into a handheld thing that you can play like right on your laptop or lap, or you can like use the switch out and put the unit in and play it on your big screen TV. Okay. Now, what if it was like that in a sense, but it was but that's the exact same game.
Right.
It just is a different scale. So, what if, when you're on your phone, there's a certain type of way you play, things that you do that tie into that other game. I'm not sure how it explains, but like, maybe it's that, just trying to think of like Minecraft maybe a little bit, is that like, maybe on your phone, instead of you going around doing things, you're just making potions or something that would like help out your game when you get back to the console. Or, when you play in the console, it's all just a shoot 'em up game, but then you do a training on your phone later, Or it could be like you're figuring out this plot lines and you're checking the evidence on your phone. When you get back into the gameplay, then you know how to proceed with the mission.
That sounds like a team game to me.
Like a team, like every people could take on different aspects.
So you're saying, other people are doing it?
Well, I don't know. That's what you just did. You say team game?
That sounds like a team game to me. So I love what you're saying.
That already exists.
No, and it does. I don't know, but like what I'm saying, no, I love that idea. But what I'm saying, like you're saying it as a point of one person doing this whole thing.
Kind of, yeah.
But I'm saying, like, everybody has a role.
Yeah.
One person's like, okay, you do the potions.
Yeah.
You do the.
You do that on that.
And everybody's got to make sure that they get whatever done on a deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could cause arguments and shit like that, but it's like, hey, you download the game. So, like, you know what you're in for. Like, I don't know if they got to pay for it or not, but, like, everybody's assigned to a role. Maybe 4 or 5 friends. You get this, you get this, you get this. You need to do this at this certain time, and we need this. Then, you are the person for that job.
Yeah.
Like, you deal with the potions, okay? You have to make sure we're all good. All right, you do this. You make sure our weapons are good or whatever. Like, that's dope.
Yeah.
You make sure.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too, yo. But see what I'm saying? Like a team game.
I think I think that, because it makes me think of like, I remember talking to somebody just recently that they were like not essentially kicked out of their Dungeons and Dragons game, but their character was suspended. So, but they were still in the storyline. So the dungeon master called them up because they weren't able to play that. Yeah, they weren't able to play that week because their character was suspended because of them making bad choices in the game. And they're like, "Hey, something's happening right now. I just need to know what decision you'll make in the game to help out this other."
That's cool.
Thing. Yeah, and I was like, "That's fine."
Even if they're suspended.
Yeah, even if it's like,
you're still communicating with your team.
Yeah, you're
that's
still
fucking dope.
Communicating with your team and still like helping out, or like you're still trying to, And I was like, man, like things need to be like cross-platform too. That like
it's just like Jesus Christ, like the game we played, the space game.
Yeah, the space
We're
team.
all a team.
Yeah, we're all
You
a
do
team.
this, I do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, 3 of us.
You should tell them about Space Team.
Well, it's called Space Team?
Yeah, it's called
Okay.
Space Team.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so Space Team is... Excuse me. Please feel free to chime in because like Space Team is a game. It's downloadable on any phone, on all platforms. But it's basically a game about like it's kind of like a Apollo 13 kind of. It's kind of like a
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
I just want it to sound cool. But basically what the game is about is you download the game and what is the limit of friends you can have?
4, I believe 4.
4. You can the limit is 4 friends. Download the game. You all sync to each other somehow, and basically what happens is there are these missions that you have, and every single person on the team is basically given a task like, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. But it shows on your phone. So it's like, hey, you need to turn the whatever. It's just random shit. But
It
but
really is random shit.
I don't even know what the fuck. I never heard this thing.
Also, couple.
Exactly. So it's like, oh, and you guys are all doing it at one time. So it's like, hey, for instance, Jay Reed, seal the.
Actually, you wouldn't even know to say Jay Reed. You would just
it doesn't say
shout
your
out.
Right.
Set hyper level to 3. You have no idea who has the control panel to set the hyper level.
Yes, that's correct. You don't know what the hell you're like. You're just saying. Basically, there's all these lists of things on your panel that need to be done, and everybody on your team has those things. Whatever you don't have, somebody on your team has.
Yeah.
So basically, just shouting out like, "Hey, I need this done. I need this done," and somebody next to you is like, "Oh, I have that. I'm gonna do it."
Yeah.
And they'll do it, and then like basically you have to do it in like a certain amount of seconds or whatever, and then.
Yeah, imagine 4 people shouting things at each other that make no sense.
It was fun.
And yet,
it was fucking fun.
It makes sense in the moment, and then it's just craziness, and then you survive.
Yeah,
it just does in the sense that you fly off to that. And actually, it's interesting because it works on iPhone. To speak to this, it works on iPhones. If you have an iPhone and I have an Android, we can play the same game.
Right, exactly. So it doesn't matter what type of phone you have. You can play it on iPhone or Android. It's just a really fun game. I had no idea about it until Paul let me know about it, and I was like, "What the hell is this dude talking about?" And we played it at work, and it was a blast.
Yeah,
it was a blast, and yeah. It's good for like communication, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no, it was just a blast. So I recommend that game. I haven't played it in a while, but we should play it again.
Yeah, we should definitely play it again.
But what I think is they should make one that's like
more
like 10 people.
Yeah.
That would be just fucked up. That would just be fucked up.
Yeah.
Just like. Not even
It'd be
just
interesting too to play it like I don't even know.
It's like how good is your communication? You can fucking just do this with 10 people.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy. Just expand.
Yeah,
like it's 4.
Yeah,
4 people. It was cool. It was fun. It was a blast. But it's like I'm thinking like outside the box. Like how can you do it with like more people? Can you do it with 20 people? Can you how would that would be nuts, yo?
It'd be nuts. I would just love to like film that just to see people,
right, just
20
people sitting on
out directives that make no sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like I just want to see the reaction, just sitting at a last supper table and just shouting out stuff. Well, like Oh, Yeah, so like, where are you on your list,
Alright,
man?
so now that was number 3. We're at number 2.
Damn, that's 3. Jesus.
And actually, I should say too, these numbers aren't like there's no, it's not actually the numbers don't mean anything, but it just lets me know how close I am to the end. So this one is basically just something I've been. I guess I can just say a non-violent game that is popular with everyone. Think about like a really popular game that's like non-violent, and it's really hard to think of one. That's really it's really hard to think of one. And
like a number 1 game.
Yeah, like
that's
a
just
number
not
one. Like
violent?
Came out, it was probably the bestseller, and like there was no violence to it whatsoever. It's funny too. I'm even like if you even think of Mario, and I'm like watching the background where Bowser's like burning Luigi with his fire breath.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Stuff. But like, and even that I would consider like I would be like, oh, Mario, that's non-violent. But like,
I see what you're saying because it's like but just no violence at all. No hitting someone, no shooting someone, no nothing. Just
right. Good all the way through. There's a beginning, middle, everything that you love about gaming. That there's some sort of story, or there's a competitive aspect to it, maybe even, or there's like
maybe the Sims.
Sims would be like that.
Kind of like that.
Yeah,
but
Sims would be like that. Sim City would be.
Well,
like
that was something. Yeah,
kinda,
Sims like that, but like what you were saying, like something that would give you all the satisfaction that you need, like fighting or whatever, without fighting though.
Without fighting, so one of the big games right now is Fortnite. Or if you don't know Fortnite, then you're not fucking alive right now.
Like,
but so like Fortnite's like really popular, and I have no problem with Fortnite whatsoever. But there's no way like in my mind, unless you say something right now that would blow my mind. I guess like maybe Pokemon Go, but like. It's so funny.
I got nothing to say about Fortnite.
But
honestly.
I'm just saying like, and I should also say that I'm completely aware that violent games do not lead to violence. There's no correlation. There's plenty of violent games that are being played by people that do not commit violence or anything like that. And feel free to tweet at me of thoughts of if the contrary, but there's no correlation.
What's your tweet? Did you give him that?
No, I'm not giving it to him.
Okay.
But maybe later. But there isn't. It doesn't. One doesn't lead to the other. It doesn't. But it's just that when I think of games, I'm like, outside of sports, there isn't really any non-violent games that are really like. NBA 2K is a non-violent game that's really popular. That would actually qualify. But
besides sports games.
But for something maybe, it's besides sports games, something maybe like more interesting for me. And I don't know what that might be. That's probably why I can't make that game. But I would love to see a game that really pushes the boundaries of games. Because I think we've fallen into having a gun and shooting people. Or shooting things. Or like... I mean, basically, that's it. That's what we've landed on. It's like the only thing to make with a game is like have a gun and shoot things. You really even haven't. You've gotten away from the side scroller of just jumping on something to squash it.
Right.
That doesn't even exist. And then even then you have. I don't even know if fighting games really still outside of Smash Brothers. I'm not sure if fighting games really even exist.
And honestly, I'm gonna. Kind of not vent here, but like I can be honest. Like I've fallen a victim to that too. Like the shooting games. Like they've got me. Like what else is out there? I'm just like shooting game. Yeah, it looks cool, looks good. Like I'm gonna play it. I was like, what else is out there? What else can like catch me? That I'm like, oh shit, and bring me back to reality. I want to say bring me back to reality, but it's like what else is out there besides that?
I'm like right, I hope you guys go out there and make this game that will blow my mind.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like these are things that we think about Well, and I don't know.
Wonder if that No Man's Sky is actually like this. But
We gotta try it.
I gotta try it.
We gotta try it now.
Yeah.
Okay, after this podcast, we definitely gotta try it now. Like, I mean, but yeah. Was you at number 2 right now? 2?
No, this is it. That was number 2. So there's number 1.
Drum roll.
And this is actually, so we I was talking about the non-violent shooter games that would probably took us down a low, but this one will get us back to again. So so a cross between Pokemon Go and GTA. Now bear with me. So somehow there's like, it's a cross between Pokemon Go and GTA. GTA, Grand Theft Auto for those people out there. But it's so you go around and it's not following like the storyline in GTA where you fall in the main storyline, but it's like a side quest kind of storyline. And for all the side quests, you have to actually help out real people in the real world. I mean, I think this is actually doable.
Wait.
Like, think about, like, okay.
Wait, say that.
Okay.
Say that again one more time.
So,
say that again one more time.
In GTA, you have side quests, right?
Okay.
And in side quests, you just, like, in most all games, there's, like, a sandbox, run around, do whatever. Open world sandbox. Actually, open world sandbox might not be the same thing. But open world, you can stumble upon somebody that will ask you to do a side quest, right?
Okay.
It might give you some sort of attribute in the game, right? Or something that will help you out in the game, in the overall. It doesn't progress the main storyline. In Skyrim, which is, for me, Skyrim's like top 3 as well. Maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, depends on when you ask me.
I agree.
But you might have to like go and like pick berries for somebody who needs the berries. And then you give her the berries and she gives you, maybe it's like 500 gold pieces, or I can't remember. You know, she might give you a special.
So what are you saying about the side missions? You're saying the side missions actually mean something?
Yeah. So like.
Okay.
So like if
Gotcha.
if an organization wants you to do some charitable, like volunteer some time.
That doesn't exist right now?
No, I don't know. That's it. Again, like I say these things because I don't know if I know. I don't have the knowledge. But what if there was like a Pokemon Go platform that if you're walking down the street, a non-profit could pop up on your thing and say, "Hey, we need you to come in and do some good for the kids."
And that would actually mean something in your...
And it would actually be a real fucking side quest in your life. That's actually real. That actually fucking happens. Isn't that fucking interesting?
It's very interesting, man.
That's really interesting.
Because the side quests don't mean shit.
No, side quests, it's not progressing your storyline. It's not progressing my storyline. But we do these things. It might help you out. You might get it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I see what you're saying. Okay, like the actual player's life.
Your real life.
You're actually...
You're walking down the street. You walk past, let's say it's a homeless shelter. And they're like, and you walk by, and instead of it being like a Pokemon shows up and you have to battle a Pokemon, it's like... maybe it could be, but it's like a Pokemon shows up and they're like, "Hey, come in and volunteer for like 15 minutes." And so you go in and volunteer for 15 minutes.
So maybe the player might not give a fuck about the game, but it's like actually doing that good deed might uplift them in real life. Right?
It's like a real life reward.
Got you.
And it actually helps people in the real world.
That's clever. That's clever. That's clever.
Happy note here. We always like to end on a happy note.
That's clever. I was like, what's this talking about? I'm like, yeah, I do this all the time in other games. Like, what do you mean? Nothing happens.
No, this is real world.
But I got you now.
Yeah.
Like, that's
so you could even like, I don't know how this would work, but like, I need somebody to help me move something real quick. or somebody, you know, like basically like maybe it's like Craigslist free, you know, like there's some stuff on my curb, come and grab it, or like whatever it is. Like you're playing the game, and you can just go do good deeds whenever you want to opt in or opt out, whatever you want to do.
So that's interesting, but like, are you saying that the main storyline is like not interesting? Like, what's gonna make them go to the side missions? You know what I mean?
I think it's because you want to do good in this world. I think the main mission is...
But how do you advertise that?
I don't know. This is where I don't know. I wish I knew.
I'm pretty sure this happens all over the world, but it's like...
Yeah.
It's like, how do you say,
actually,
hey, help people?
It happens. It's just not a video game. It's not gamified.
Right.
That's... Next time we get together, we go to talk about gamification of things, but that's not game. Like these side quests are not game.
It's like I played Grand Theft Auto. I'm like, I'm not thinking about, oh, let me help this person. Like I'm thinking about like I need to finish the story. So,
but not so much for the side missions. Like Skyrim, you have like a main mission you're doing. Also, you're like going through a town. Somebody's like, hey, my dog's lost. Can you help me find my dog?
Oh, maybe
I don't know if that's actually a mission.
You know, maybe this should
it is.
Maybe they should change it up. Maybe they should be like, you know, the side missions actually really matter. You know what I mean?
A game where only the side missions matter.
Right.
Interesting.
Side missions only matter.
Yeah.
And you won't tell the fans that, or you won't tell the player that. It's like, oh, they'll be doing the real missions, but it's like they realize, you know, halfway into the game, like, oh shit, damn, I need to do side missions. And the side missions are actually good deeds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, no, they have to do these good. Nah, I'm not forcing people to do.
Yeah.
Forcing people to do good deeds, but it's like, you know, people are so focused on, I need to finish the game. Oh yeah, well, we need to go do a hit on this guy or whatever. But it's like the side missions, like, oh, you know, maybe we need to do this, you know, and they're like, just you can skip it.
Yeah. But
it's like, you can't skip it.
Yeah. Because it actually matters.
You need to be a good person.
Yeah.
You got to be a good person.
Yeah,
and it's like, you. And maybe it's like, I don't know, who knows? Maybe like...
Yeah. One of the things I did like about Skyrim that actually kind of falls into that line, though, is that at the end of Skyrim, you weren't like the king.
Mm-hmm.
You just helped somebody be the king. And you just continue floating along in Skyrim.
Right.
It's a good
sometimes game. It's not. Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Sometimes it's not about being on top. It's about being close to the top. I guess.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. I mean, it depends on the story. That satisfies me. I mean, it's like it's not about, you know, being all the way up top. Like I don't have to be the main person. Like yes, I beat the game. Yes, I saved everyone. No, it's like yo. Sometimes it's like I'm actually the side guy that actually helped the person do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's satisfaction for some people.
It's a full life too, you know.
It's real life too.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're not the hero all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
You are just
a part of
the side motherfucker. Right?
Yeah.
You're just a friend of the person that's a hero.
Yeah. I don't have to have more money and more problems. I can just have less money and
Biggie said it best.
Exist.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But that's a great topic. Like sometimes, damn, I don't even know where.
Next time we're together, we gotta talk about more. About this. Yeah,
we'll do that. But you know what? Thank you, Paul, for coming on the show. You have been an amazing guest, and I think we'll end it for whatever I'm saying. I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. I think
Virtual Fortress. I love it. I love being here. I want to get back soon.
Yes.
Let's just try to make this happen. Right?
Yes. You would definitely be back on this show, and thank you for being here. Great topics that we talked about.
It's at PAUL_MARLIER Twitter.
What he said. If you want to fucking like send him hate mail or whatever. But yeah. Appreciate you for being here, and until then, once again, keep gaming on.